The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Moncur, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Welcome to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV. And of course, you can see the show on channel 224, that's cable TV, and BTC Flow TV 112. My name is Rodney Moncur. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I am a member of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, and of course, my politics has been F&M. So I'm still an official member of the Free National Movement, notwithstanding that yesterday, thousands of F&M supporters went to the poll and elect the Free National Movement as the new government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Well, while they were going to the poll, I and a small group of friends made it safely to the beach. And that is where I spent most of the afternoon. And after that, I headed here to work. So today on Freedom March, we're going to look a day after the election. I'm going to look at the election for a few seconds. I'm not going to run on too much today. I'm going to invite jubilant supporters to call me here. And the number here is, well, let's see what the number is. It is 242-323-7775. That's the main line. And toll free, it's 242-300-0045. Toll free, 242-300-0045. And of course, the other number is 357-7469. That's the text and WhatsApp number, 357-7469. So, thousands of citizens went to the poll, and at the end of the night, the PLP government and its leader were voted out of office. So I need to reflect and then give you one or two stories, because early this morning, two things happened that were exciting to me, and I'll tell it to you. I will tell you how I boarded the jitney to interact with my people, the Negro people, so as to hear what they had to say. So it is an exciting day in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and I'd like to look at it in its historical context. So I want you to keep tuned to your television and let me know if they are still sabotaging me, because after all, the election is over and there's no need to do so. So just relax. I'm going to see if I can entertain you today. All right? So my name is Rodney Moncur. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I'm a member of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. And of course, I am an F&M. Notwithstanding, I did not support the party. And so, you just relax. We'll talk little politics. I want to talk more about the F&M. And then I want to say something to the thousands of youthful PLP supporters. I think I have a message for them, so I'll be right back after we pay the first bill. This is Freedom March. Stay tuned with me.
Freedom March with Rodney Moncur will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Moncur.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV, cable channel 224, and BTC Flow, channel 112. You can also join us on Facebook Live by going to the ILTV studios. It's the Facebook page, and that's where you will see our live streaming. So, www.iltvstudios.com. So, if you are watching me, you're either watching me on channel 224 or BTC Flow 112. I'm not going to talk too long today, and I'm going to invite many of you who are interested to give me a call and let me hear what is on your mind. Our main telephone line is 323-7775. 323-7775. And of course, our toll-free number is 242-300-0045. 242-300-0045. And of course, our text and WhatsApp line is 357-7469. 357-7469. By now, everyone in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas would have known that yesterday, May 10th, general elections were held all over the Bahamas. And last night, after 6 p.m., we all learned that a new party had been elected, and the Free National Movement, under the leadership of Dr. Hubert Alexander Menace, is now the new government. We are also aware that at 5 p.m., that's about an hour and some minutes from now, I think, the Dr. Menace will go to Government House, where Her Excellency will invite him to form the next government and to swear him in as Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We are also aware that based on the protocol, Prime Minister Perry Christie should have already visited Government House to bid Her Excellency farewell. So that is what happens in a democracy. For those who lose, sometimes, for many people, they become extremely emotional and they weep in defeat. Those who win also becomes very emotional and they too can weep for joy. So for thousands of Bahamians, this is a joyous occasion. And so I just want to, impart what I regard as some historical information. Because this election last night or yesterday is perhaps a very historical election. For those of you who would have studied history, you would have recalled that Pinling, who first was able to successfully win 18 seats, UBP 18 seats, Independent and Labour 1 each. That would have been January 10th, 1967. Pinling never beat the UBP like this. Ingraham has never beaten Pinling like this. Christie has never beaten Ingraham like this. Ingraham has never beaten Christie like this. And so Christie has killed his thousands and Menace has killed his tens of thousands, because the defeat by the FNM of the Progressive Liberal Party is perhaps very unprecedented. This is a major, major political victory. And I'm certain that this could not have been achieved when you looked at how the FNM was able to capture the inner city, the area between Nassau Street and Village Road, an area where the late Paul L. Adderley, a former Attorney General and a historian, described that area as the cradle of PLP civilization. And so the FNM was able to infiltrate the cradle of PLP civilization. And Dr. Minnis has achieved one of the greatest political victory. And as I said before, it could not have been achieved. So thousands of PLP supporters, for whatever reason, they decided that they would vote Christie and the PLP out of office. So that is what has happened, and it is very, very historical. The psalmist, David, looking at a similar kind of scenario, once said, "Oh, how the mighty has fallen, and the weapons of war perish." I thought I should share that piece of biblical note, because as I reflected, I needed something kind of spiritual and kind of poetic to say to you, my people, the Negro people. It is also interesting to note that in this election, the FNM really never advocated any ideas or solutions, by and large. And to the extent that they may have done so, or you may reflect on the PLP manifesto, looking at the results of the election, the people never checked. They never checked for election issues, and they've never checked for any policy position. It appears that they just decided, listen, we're voting Christie and the PLP out. I was talking to a 65-year-old Negro male, a professor extraordinaire, and he described that when he went into his constituency in the southern part of the island, so all he did was to look for the FNM torch and the candidate name, and he marked his X and walked out. He went on to say he wasn't checking for no issue, he wasn't checking for any philosophy, he wasn't into whether or not the FNM could create employment or reduce the level of crime. He was just voting against Christie and the PLP. So those things are extremely important in my judgment, as I'm going to attempt to rally the thousands of young people whom I have met at the many PLP mass rally as I walked through the crowd. It is also to be noted that the people had what I would want to describe blood in their eyes. And there were clearly many PLP candidates that they really wanted to get rid of. And they successfully did it. And what is to be noted is the dignified manner in which it was done, in which it was expressed. People went to the poll peacefully. And the first sign that there was going to be a tsunami coming from the deep south, the Haitian would have said, how would the Haitian would have called it? The Haitian would have described this election as la vala, la vala. So what we saw happening in the south of the island is what the Haitian call la valas, la valas. It was a landslide. It was a tsunami. And that is what took place yesterday. So I thought that I should point out that to you, my people. Now, the PLP, I'm certain, is reflecting on What contributed to their defeat? Well, one of the things I would want to draw to their attention is that there were thousands, perhaps that's an exaggeration, hundreds, maybe that is an exaggeration, scores of workers who have been in the employment of the government for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, one worker said 20 years, and all they petitioned the government to make them permanent workers so that they could be a recipient of a pension. They were not able, and we're talking specifically about the PLP, to appease them. They petitioned, they said, look, we've been working for years, we want to become permanent. And so hundreds, perhaps thousands of civil servants who fell in that category and who was unable to have that particular issue addressed, well, they too went to the poll and they voted against the PLP. That is what happened. And then, of course, there were people, the small contract workers, people who perhaps cleaned the sidewalk and so forth. They too were frustrated when payment was not coming on a timely basis, and they could not get anyone to deal with that issue. That created frustration, and those category of citizens, they decided, well, there's only one way we can deal with this. We're going to vote them out. We are going to vote them out. So these are some of the small-time issues that people were affected by. And then we look at Hurricane Matthew. We had people in Mr. Christie's constituency of Centerville who had complained to the media that notwithstanding the storm and the many devastation they suffered, they had not seen Mr. Christie. And of course, I'm going to find an excuse for him. Christie made the mistake that Tommy Turnquest made in one or two of the F&M election campaign. Christie was all over the Bahamas being prime minister when his political base, his supporters, needed to see him just the same way other constituencies needed to see their representative, and how the country also needed to see him. Tommy Turnquest, in one election, he lost because he permitted Mr. Ingraham to take him on a national campaign. So Tommy was all over the Bahamas, while Code Smith, who was then the PLP candidate, was laying political land mine. And by the time Tommy recognized what was taking place, Code Smith had peacefully taken over his constituency, and Tommy was defeated because he was playing national leader when he should have allowed Mr. Ingraham to do just that. So these are some of the things that has happened. And I'll give you another story. I ran into a Negro mother who lives in the Centerville constituency and specifically in Mason Addition. She had seen me at PLP rallies, and she is one of the women them. And she said to me, listen, I'm in trouble. And I wondered what she was talking about. I said, what kind of trouble? She said, my son, he is now wearing F&M shirts in my house, and he's putting up strong arguments as to why he's going to vote F&M and as to why the household. She said, and there's nothing I could do. All I tried to argue with him. He's such a strong, aggressive, intelligent man, and I need you to intervene. And I asked her what she meant. She said, I need you to come to Mason Addition and meet my son. So I said, listen, I'm coming for lunch on Sunday. And I did. And as I spoke to him, I heard his political arguments, and I made a political appeal. I said to him, look, my brother, you got to do this one more time for Christie. And see your mother, she's very distraught. And as I spoke to him, it's a house full of people. The woman looked like she got plenty heads of young adults. I had to literally hold a rally in her house as I appealed to him, look, you can't do this to Christy. And then he turned to his mom and he said, Mom, I'm going to do this one more time for you. Mr. Moncur has come and told me how it is affecting you. And then I reminded him, listen, it was you who 2 years ago sent for me, and I came, and I've remained a friend. And I said, you got to do this for Christy, because this is a crucial election. So these were some of the many things that took place in the campaign. And so the PLP needs to reflect on these things, and their supporters must be told that in an election, you win some and you lose some. As simple as that. And every time you lose, you gotta get up. It's like a dilly tree. Every time you shake the dilly tree, dilly drop. When the dilly drop, pick it up. That is what you do. Because this next 5 years is about political struggle and ensuring that the Free National Movement, who hardly told us what they are going to do, that you make sure that those of you who lives within the inner city, that you are properly represented at the table. Because we have to watch whether or not Sarkis as Marillion candidates will be appointed to the Senate. And Sarkis has been blessed by the FNM. He has 3 candidates, Jeffrey Lloyd, Marvin, Dames, and what is the name of the next Negro? The Nuncio de Aguilar. So what the inner city people need, and specifically PLP supporters, you need to be organized. And what you all need is the PLP version of We March, because the next 5 years is going to be critical. You have to hold the government accountable, and you have to bounce back. Remember how the Saxon bounced back? Well, let's be like the Saxon, and let's bounce back. And when I return, I'm going to tell you how to bounce back. Because as I rode on a jitney today, and I passed the straw market, for the first time in this campaign, I became emotional. The straw vendors, young straw vendors, they ran out to salute me. And I had to open up the door and said to them, PLP! And they shouted all the way. I said, don't be upset. You have an FNM brother who's going to support you PLPs. This is Freedom March. What time is it now? Give me the time quickly. 4:30, in half an hour time. We will have a new Prime Minister here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. My name is Rodney Moncur. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Moncur will be right back after this. The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Moncur, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
To Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV channel 224 and BTC Flow 112. You can also join me on ILTVstudios.com, their Facebook page, where we are streaming live. My name is Rodney Moncur, and as you know, I'm the host of Freedom March. When we took the adjournment, I was trying to point out some of the reasons why the PLP lost. I also want to rally the thousands of young people that I met at the PLP rally. Now, if you have been in mourning over the defeat, get over it. In election, you win and you lose. But you don't be a sissy. After the loss, you stand up, you rise, you reassess quickly what took place. You begin to reorganize and you bounce back like how the Saxon did it. Remember the Saxon? They bounced back. That is the idea. Y'all are young people, and the F&M has demonstrated to you by the utilization of their youthful candidates. All of you are of the same generation. All of you have access to the same technology, social media. So stand up. Stand up. It is fighting time. They won. The PLP put up a formidable battle. But the F&M, they waged a better war. And they won. So you can't remain, what are you depressed over? Come on, man, rise up. This next 5 years is going to be exciting. And if you organize from the ground, you will be ready to take part in positive and constructive political actions. And let me take you back to the history of the PLP. Because one of the problems that the party face is they have not educated the nation, and particularly PLP supporters, of a rich history. Why am I advocating that PLP supporters should stand up? Stand up boldly, peacefully, and be prepared to march and demonstrate. Be prepared to march and demonstrate. Where did I inherit that political philosophy? I inherited that from the founding father of the government of the country, the founding father of the nation, the founding father, Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinling. Pinling taught the nation that marches and demonstrations are necessary for political change. You heard what I tell you? And there's no one who can challenge what I just told you. Pinling, the first prime minister in the modern Bahamas, the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, Pinling, the late Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinling, one of the major political doctrine that he taught, that he advocated, he said, marches and demonstrations are necessary for political change. So you have to gird up your loins and put on the full armor of the principle and the policies and the discipline of the PLP. That is what you must do. Put on the full armor. Understand your history. Understand your philosophy. Be proud. You lose this one, but there were many that the PLP won in the past. But there is always defeat. And a party is defeated when it loses touch with the people them, with its supporters. You lose touch. So, don't take long to cry. Come on. Y'all is man. The man them. Y'all is woman. The woman them. Stand up. Stand up. And retool the party. Reorganize. Because every supporter is like a political party. So there's nothing to upset. And let me tell you why. There's a Negro male by the name of Renard Hanfield. Renard Hanfield is the sidekick of the bullet smuggler, or attempted bullet smuggler, John Bullet Boskirk. Renard has been posting a series of Facebook messages designed to intimidate the PLP, designed to incite unlawful arrest of PLP leadership. Now, if there's evidence that some PLP commit a crime, well, I'm a justice of the peace. You have to follow the law. But listen to what Hanfield say. And Hanfield ain't safe. He ain't safe. Hanfield at all material time was a undercover F&M. Everybody know that notwithstanding that I have given political support to the PLP, I have always admitted, listen PLP, you're dealing with an F&M who don't support ministers. So, I can give you all until Monday. Okay? Those who want mourn will mourn. But Monday, there must be a great political resurrection. And that's it. Remember Pinling's philosophy. Now, what did Ranad say? Ranad, as you read his article, he attempts to be attacking John Bosbeck, those whom he claimed associated with VMatch because of special political interest or consideration. But Ranad says he wants the pirates of the cabinet. He wants them audited, investigated, arrested, charged, convicted, and jailed. That's what he said. All right? It is as if he has evidence. If he has evidence of a pirate having committed a crime, he should step now and present it to the police. So he's inviting a witch hunt. Well, in Haitian Creole, witch is called Fiat Lalo. And the Haitian mythology teaches us that if you go to the witch's house, the witches will eat you. Tout le monde haïtien ou connaît Fiat Lalo. Si allez, kai Fiat Lalo manger ou tout. So, that is what he's advocating. So it means a progressive political party, a progressive PLP, a progressive youth arm. What is the youth arm called? The Young Liberals. It means that you have to organize so that the issues which the F&M did identify, you can push and advocate and bring political pressure on ministers and the F&M to carry them out. That's how the democracy works. You have a government under our system, and you need a very good political opposition to keep the party in government accountable, transparent, and doing all the things that they promise. And we are civilized people. And since we are civilized, we do it peacefully. Peaceful marches, peaceful protests. That's how it is done. You don't burn down your country. You're stupid if you contemplate that. You don't break it up. You're silly. We have a beautiful country, so we should never resort to violence. Now, since Ranad is a young man, and I am 60, I'm going to tell him something about the PLP and F&M. I'm not sure if he is aware of a former cabinet minister, and I'm going to call his name, in the PLP. His name is Philip Bethel. He's a reverend. And many Negroes aren't aware that one day he said something in my presence, and I've never forgotten it. He told the people then, during a commission of inquiry that was appointed by Hubert Alexander Ingraham, I think it was in 1993. I want Ranad to understand how the PLP and the F&M, they're business partners. They have one another's secret. So what he is desirous of having, what he is desirous of seeing may not necessarily happen, since the F&M is not comprised principally of men and women who are saved. So what did Philip Bethel said in the midst of Hubert Ingraham's commission of inquiry? And Philip Bethel is alive, right down there in Governor's Harbor. He's the reverend of a Baptist church. And he might not have been aware that I was right there listening. And he said to them, he said, don't mind Ingraham Gami before this commission inquiry. Don't mind that. Whatever they found, I ain't getting charged. Therefore, I won't be convicted and I will not go to prison. And I gink somebody to say to him, why? Why would Ingraham not do it? And by grab, Philip Bettel told us. But I won't say it today because some things you say today and some you leave for tomorrow. I just want Ranad to know it, eh? So be careful in this. And so I say all of this because I want the PLP young people to organize. Don't be intimidated. Don't be ashamed. The history of politics in the Bahamas, you got to take care of the people. You have to be sensitive to the needs and aspiration of the people them. Because it is the people that we must put first. Now, we know that the FNM, whether or not you want to admit it, is a party of special interest. Mark my word, the 11th of May, 2017. So at this table, more than 3/4% of the agenda is going to be for special interest. Mark my word. That is what is going to happen. So the poor, the grassroots, those who support the PLP must be willing to organize. You gotta bounce back. And I'm available. I know how to march. I know how to prepare a placard. I can give advice free of charge. I'm 60 and I've been doing it for about 43 years. So I'm prepared to meet with young people. All I demand of you is to be responsible and peaceful. I love the Bahamas. I don't want it destroyed, okay? Because last night, the FNM thought that I was in my senatorial jeep. But I had another Negro man in my senatorial jeep. And a group of FNM thugs attempted to assault him. They thought I was in the jeep. And they threatened him. And they told him he better go park it. That's a true story. A true story. But I want the FNM to know that that is not the way you operate in a democracy. You don't do that. You don't threaten your opponent. You don't threaten other citizens. You don't do that. Because all of us have the capacity to become lawless if we choose. I don't want to be lawless. And so I ask those persons who pursued my jeep last night to stop it. Stop it and act lawfully. All right? You might not like my politics. You might not like what I'm doing. But you don't move to threaten me. But I wasn't in the jeep. I gave him the jeep. I said, go to the beach, finish, break down everything. I'm going to the studio. And that is what he reported to me, that at about 5 a.m. this morning, he came to a secret place where I spent the night. Very frustrated and stressed out, saying to me he needs to quickly park my jeep because a number of young men in a car or cars had pursued him and threatened him. That you don't do that. I have boys too, you know. I have people who love me. And I have to, for many occasions, I have to mislead them. They say, who did this to you? Boy, I know who did that to me. Because I don't want nobody to get in trouble for me. Because we live in a society that is based on the rule of law. All right? Now, today is the 11th. So I'm no longer a senator. And I've told the young man, park my jeep and we'll take it off. My term in office is up. But if should you see me driving in the road with the Senate plate on, that's because I can't find my other plate. All right? So I want you all to act lawful. Don't intimidate my driver. Don't do that. I'm a man. I am trained in Kung Fu. And I don't have to drop kick any of y'all, my brothers, the FNM, okay? So let's keep the political row without threats, all right? We've had a peaceful election. And I need to remind you, because in 1972, the FNM killed a supporter. And I don't want to die. The first reason why I don't want to die is I ain't got no insurance for my wife to bury me, all right? And I don't think that anyone has the right to intimidate me. I don't have to call on my family and friends publicly who are FNMs and ask them, is this what you came to power for? That your supporters will follow my Jeep and threaten the young man who was driving it last night? I'll have to say it to them, because I don't think that they would want me or my property to be damaged or injured. Come now, we're living in a civilized society. You done win. So if you done win, I don't mind you clowning and celebrating, but certainly it was wrong to pursue the man who's driving my Jeep, make him stop, and then threaten. Don't do that. And the men who did it were wearing FNM clothing. I don't want to get into that kind of debate. I want to row over political issues and policies. I don't want to argue over potential crimes and threats, because it takes us nowhere. You done win, go celebrate, go run the country, go solve the various social, political, and economic issues. But don't interfere with me, because I might resist, even though I'm 60. And as I say, I know how to do little karate. Well, I ain't that much in shape, but I could drop kick people. Because one day, 2 men attacked me. And I said to them, hold on for a second. And when he hold on for a second, I slap him and drop kick the next one. And I hardly could walk after that, because I'm 60, all right? So don't do that to me, because I have friends. I have relatives. There are many people who love me, okay? So go and, celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. See my spiritual advisor? He ain't come yet. I always suspected he was the undercover FNM. So, him and, I better say this piece in Haitian Creole because I don't know. Paul Willie, qui kote zami moi, spiritual advisor, parce que aujourd'hui la vini na bis moi pour di, le FNM gen un pile contract ou gen contract la pour li. Pas dit ça en anglais, parce que m'a pas besoin tout FNM pour connaître ça. It's a wonderful day in the country. Such a wonderful democracy. But with a number of stupid young men dressed in FNM clothes trying to intimidate a man who was driving my senatorial Jeep. Goodness me. Y'all stop it, eh? Because in 1972, the FNM took one of its supporters in the back of a Paul truck. And interestingly enough, the FNM won the constituency where Paul track is located. And they took that FNM. They put him on trial. They didn't allow him to call no witnesses. They didn't allow him to get an attorney to represent him. He was not even able to call anyone. And when it was over, in that kangaroo court, they convicted him and they executed him. And two of the convicted murderers went to the gallows. Be careful. We shouldn't repeat those kind of history. I thought I should say it in view of the fact that my colleague who was driving my Jeep woke me up around 5 a.m. to say, listen, I need to get rid of the Jeep because the FNM supporters, they are harassing me and following me. Can you imagine it? What kind of society we living in? You win. So you don't have to threaten anybody. And don't forget, even though I am supporting the PLP, I'm an FNM. Now, if you don't want me to be in the party, now that the election is over, I'm prepared to go, because I only in the FNM because Dr. Minnis invited me. But I'm prepared to leave, all right? because I'm tired of a lot of this politics. But I'm prepared to assist the young men. And I have lots of flags here. And I have the PLP flag that I brought with me, because I want to say at the end of the show, PLP all the way. All right? So be of good cheer. Don't get upset. Relax. The PLP is lost. But out of the ashes, the party can be rebuilt and retooled. And it's a great party. The FNM is also a great party. And it will keep the democracy alive and healthy. Alive and healthy. Now, last night, you would recall that I had to join Ortland Bodie, and I was very upset because nobody in management told me that a man who attends the same church with me was going to be a guest. I don't like that. I thought it would be only me and Bodie, and I called publicly on management. If you're going to have a third guest, please tell me in advance so I can say to you, listen, I don't want to be on with that guest, and so forth. You know, I hate to say some things because people think that I'm very insensitive. They may think I'm crude, but I was very uncomfortable. And so I'm going to talk in parable, okay? My father, he drank lots of rum. And I must confess, he was an alcoholic. So whenever I'm doing anything, I just don't like to be able to have to do it with people, you know, that I suspect might be, what is that big word? Inebriated, right? I hate to say it, but I was annoyed, all right? I demand sobriety in all things that I do. But it was a wonderful show. But I demand sobriety, okay? So management, you all bring me on the show with Bodie. I ain't got no problem with that. But I would like to know if there's going to be a surprise guest. So I can say to you, yeah, I coming. No, I ain't coming. Or I coming subject to these conditions. But I don't like those kind of things, all right? And then last night, all of a sudden, Jeff Lloyd's shirt is thrown at me. And that got me so annoyed because Jeff is not a saved man, all right? And this has been a man who has been sending threats, all right? And watch out for candidates who send threats, particularly if they confess to be a deacon. Deacons don't send threat, all right? And I ain't scared of Jeff because Papa closed down that program in the back of Andres that Jeff was running with all those young men. Papa closed it down and defunded it. Defunded it, all right? So I don't want Jeff to bother with me. And I say to Jeff, Liki do mama and Ching Wong 42. I hate to have to curse at him, but I didn't like the fact that in the campaign, he sent threats. Only cowards do that. In a democracy, a person you might upset you, but you don't threaten. Who the heck he think he is? With the ugly self. God forgive me for calling Jeff Lloyd ugly. All right? But I had to say it because I don't know where his shirt come from. You know? And I'm a suspicious Negro. Anyway, folks, I'm going to take another break. And, of course, when I come back, I'm going to take some call. So this is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Moncur. And I think at 5 p.m. today, Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis will be sworn in by Her Excellency Governor General Dame Margaret Pinling at Government House. So that is a historical thing because Dr. Minnis will be the first non-attorney to become Prime Minister since we introduced ministerial government. There was Pinling, Ingraham, and Christie. Now we have a gynecologist. So that is going to be interesting to have a gynecologist as the next Prime Minister. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Moncur. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Moncur will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Moncur.
Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Moncur, and you can join me on www.iltvstudios.com. It's our Facebook page where we stream the show live. And I'm going to be soon accepting calls. So the call-in number is 323-7775. 323-7775. And our toll-free number is 242-300-0045. 323-0045. And you can text me or WhatsApp me at 357-7469. Before I accept the call, I just want to make another observation that I had marked as I was talking about the PLP's defeat. It is interesting to note that not many people came to the beach with me, and not many people listened to the call of the College of the Bahamas, now called the University of the Bahamas, lecturers. You would recall that a light-skinned Negro woman and a Negro male, two of our greatest intellectual extraordinaire, had called on the voters to spoil their ballots. I've not heard how many ballots, if any, were spoiled. So it would appear that the masses of the people had rejected the position which I took to go to the beach and to spoil their ballots. And that was clearly an indication that they were focused on getting rid of the PLP. I understand that there is a Negro male on the line, or is it a Negro female? Hello, I have 4 Negroes. Let me have the first one. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yes, I'm Rodney Moncur.
So,
Senator.
well, I'm a former senator now.
Well, not yet, eh? Not till the former caucus, eh?
Well, no, you can say as of today, because my assistant reported to me that last night a number of Negro males followed him in my senatorial jeep, demanding that it be taken off the street.
Okay.
So I'm no longer a senator, and as soon as I find my plates, I'll take them off.
Yeah, well, I know you would do the honorable thing and hand in your plates and resign anyhow.
Well, you can say that there's no need for resignation. It's the end of my...
Of your senatorship.
Yes.
Mr. Rodney Moncur, you made a statement just now about the people not going on the beach. They didn't follow your command, but I think that they did follow your command but did not go on the beach, because I think 20% of the electorate who registered still didn't vote.
It's as high as that?
As high as 20. Well, most of the polling stations only reported about the highest 86%.
Okay.
So that means there was somewhere about 20 to 16% didn't vote.
Wow. And
even though they were registered, so they might not come on the beach.
They
but
stayed
I'm
home.
sure they still followed Rodney Moncur and what he was saying.
Well, I thank you for flattering me and making me feel good.
Oh, it's not flattery, sir. But there's but 2 reasons why I think PLP lost.
Okay.
The first reason is that people today is people of instant gratification. They want instant reward. And I think that the Prime Minister was slow in rewarding the people who put him in power in 2012. So that was burning in them. Like, for instance, the people in Freeport. He promised to throw a party for the people in Freeport. He didn't throw the party. He didn't check for Freeport. So Freeport turned against him, and they went straight red 5.
Okay.
Albuquerque, I guess, the same thing. Well, the Prime Minister, Hubert Ingraham, was there. And I think Hubert Ingraham was a big part of the defeat and the demise of the PLP also.
Okay. Well, that's
Now,
very interesting. What effect or influence did the first referendum had in causing public to lose confidence? Because you would recall on the
yes,
number
that was
issue.
a big part too, because he said it was a referendum, and when the people vote no, he actually changed and said it was not a referendum, it was opinion poll. So he went against what the people voted for, even though we went for the no vote. The first one was gambling, right?
Yes.
Even though the people say no, he still activated gambling. So that took away the confidence, firstly.
That is true. That is true. That is
Now,
an honest assessment.
I think if he had a good PR or had some debates where he could show why he did what, maybe the people would understand more, but he wasn't in touch with the people. He was just speaking to the people. He didn't reach out and to the understanding and saying why certain things was or why certain things wasn't.
That is true. Well,
So those two reasons are the main reasons why I think PLP lost. Now, I hear on another station, because I can't get your station. I have to call you live and listen to you while I wait.
you don't have Facebook?
No, I don't have Facebook.
Okay, and do you have a smartphone? Because if you do have
I have a smartphone, yeah.
Well, let me tell you what I'm advised. You put on some data, then you are able to download BTC Flow. Once you do that, you no longer pay data, and you'll be able to see me through your smartphone.
Okay, I think you're missing a step there, Honorable Moncur. I have to get a chip from the telco first to put in my phone to activate the Flow TV.
Okay. I was going on
So-
the premise that you were BTC friendly.
No, I
Don't call the other company.
No, I won't.
Because I don't want to give no
I won't.
publicity to them, and I'm contemplating cursing them out as soon as the spirit moves me. Yeah.
I would do, Brother Moncur, but take time and don't let Erica have to take you off the air.
Listen,
We
Urka,
enjoy listening to you,
I
and we
thank you.
want to hear you more often.
you in Freeport?
In Freeport, sir. Yes, sir. I am the one who usually call you.
Okay, and you have
But Brother Moncur, I want to say one more thing, please.
one more thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were talking pre-election about how you were speaking for Papa, and how Papa assigned you to
Mr. Christie.
Christie, right?
Yes, has he
To help
denied
Christie.
it?
But wasn't that the actual denying when he went on the stage and supported Menace and supported and actually went on Chicago's show and talked bad about Christie and the PLP? It made you look bad.
Well, listen, I think that powerful forces recognizing that I was speaking truth got to Mr. Ingraham. And then Mr. Ingraham is a politician who plays with 5 deck of cards.
Right.
One
You always
day-
have couple wild cards on their sleeve.
Yes, and so he has achieved 2 powerful objectives. One, the defeat of the gender equality referendum, because he advised me on how to win it. All right? And then, of course, you would recall that when he had lost the election, the PLP denied him the right to address the parliament for the final time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I think Papa has now achieved the 2
Vindication.
revenges. Yes. Anyway, I got to let you go.
Yes, sir.
You take
Thank
good
you
care.
for allowing me to take so much time.
And make sure you have cable in Freeport.
Cable is in Freeport, but I don't have it yet. I'm still battling with some finances right now.
Okay.
Cable is
You
not
like
that
me.
important.
After they burned down my house, in my house was a TV. And they burned down my house with my TV, so I was not able to afford any TV since then. I even don't check. That happened May 8, 2013.
Right. I remember that when
yes.
he was on the radio.
Right. But you take good care, and as the spirit move you, you're free to call me at any time, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Moncur.
Thank you, sir. Do I have another caller? Welcome to Freedom March.
Good day, Mr. Moncur. How are you?
I am fine, sir. How are you?
I'm great. God save the Queen.
God save the Queen.
This is their deputy leader, the woman them.
Listen, my brother, how are you and what is on your mind?
This is what's on my mind today. First, I have 2 points.
Go ahead.
That Reynard Henfield,
Yes.
he was a misleader to the nation
Wow.
because he always knew that his intentions was to follow the Free National Movement.
Okay.
Firstly, and that is no meaning that I, see any other way. But if you said that you are going to be colorless and voiceless, but only fighting for the people, why at the end of the day you're now turning and putting your support somewhere else? Misleading.
Yes, that is true.
Second of all, yesterday you proved your worth in talk show. You were the most watched announcer for the votes tally yesterday.
Is that really true?
That is absolutely true.
How do you know that? Because I've never able to tell
Because
these things.
all over Facebook yesterday, everybody was tuned in to Rodney Moncur.
Wow.
Notwithstanding that infidel that you had on with you, Mr. O'Body.
Yes.
You need to curse him out. He ain't nothing but a picky teeth man, Toby.
He's nothing but a frying pan, and
He ain't
this
nothing but a
time,
frying pan.
with collie on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he tried to discredit you, malign you, embarrass you, but you hold your ground.
Well, I'm a saved man.
All right?
And
I called your producers yesterday while you were on air giving the results and told them how he was trying to malign you.
I thank you.
And discredit you.
I thank you
that
for it.
you had their ratings at the highest for the 2017 general elections.
Wow. God is good, eh?
God is good.
Well, I thank you.
Do not go on the show.
Huh?
Don't let him interview you. No more.
Oh, no. I want Bodie to stay far from Freedom March and stay on his show.
Okay?
I
and I hope that in the same studio that he is do a show.
Well, they give him his own studio, and I'm going to demand that they make one for me.
Because he ain't nothing but a flip-flopper.
Wow.
He holds no credibility.
You can cause him to case me out tomorrow, man.
I don't, Mr. Bodie, and I will call him, and I will tell him again.
But you call him and let him know he's nothing but a picky teeth Mantobi, okay?
Thank you, sir.
God save the Queen. Well, that was a wonderful Negro brother who has stroked my ego. Do I have another caller? Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What is on your mind?
I think the swearing in will be at 7:30.
They changed the time?
7 or 7:30.
But Dr. Minnis said last night it would happen at 5.
Well, they said it on Chicago show that'll be at 7 after 7.
Okay, well, if Chicago say it, Chicago has good contact with Papa, and Papa is now jacking with Minnis.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Do you have 2 cameras on you?
You mean now?
No, in the studio.
There are 3 cameras and 2 other smaller ones.
Okay, the one that's on you now.
Yes.
There is no freezing up or anything. But when you go to the one on your right, that shows the whole table and the backdrop, that freezes up.
Well, I'm going to test your theory. Do not leave yet. Listen, I'm going to turn so I can test this man's theory. Which one he means? Straight ahead?
The one that's showing on TV now.
Which one is that showing on TV now?
That's freezing up.
Which one that is? That's camera 1? Producer, I'm talking to you.
The one that is showing Lady Pendlin, your backdrop, and you on the right, on my right, is freezing up.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to look at camera 3. Producer, take me to camera 3. How do I look on camera? Okay. Brother, you going? You all hang up on me. Okay. Okay. My producer, I apologize. They must have missed and hang up on you saying that you are incorrect. Anyway, keep letting me know. Have another call? Welcome to Freedom March.
Be quiet.
Hello? Sister, talk to me.
Hi, Mr. Moncur.
How are you?
Oh, I'm quite fine.
Are you happy?
Sir. I love your show, sir.
I thank you. And go ahead. Don't listen to my voice in the background. Speak to me.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Hello, sir.
I'm listening.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, sir. I'm a PLP supporter.
Okay.
However, the FNM has won.
Okay.
And that's fine. That's fine with me. But the only thing, Dr. Minnis, Prime Minister Dr. Minnis, he has some large shoes to fill and some great promises he
Yes.
promised to carry out.
Okay.
Yes, like
And
for one, he promised, I hope he carries through his promises. He promised us rent to own.
Rent to own.
Yes.
Okay,
He promised us free tuition at COB.
That's
at
right.
The College of the Bahamas.
Free. Wow, I've forgotten that. Free.
And many other things he promised us. Now,
Go ahead.
Now, we have a change. That's fine. But I hope he be able to help.
Well,
I hope he's able to help the Bahamian women like me.
what does the Bahamian
single
woman...
mother, single mothers, sir.
What y'all want? What a single woman like you want?
Oh, I need my second home. I need my next. Oh, I need many things, sir. You have to build.
All right. Well, look.
Many things, sir.
The easiest thing for him to do is
I need it.
to give us the free university. I can go back to school. So I support that position, but I had forgotten it. I thank you. And listen, I need you to do me a favor. Because you know I'm the leader of the women them, right?
Yes, sir.
All promises that Dr. Minnis has made, I need you to find them and let me know. Because we have to keep him accountable. That's the only way to democracy.
So many. So when he got on stage,
Yes.
He promised us that he got to take back what? How could he take back what?
Oh no, he can do it. If he says
No, sir. If he take back what, our country would go down the drain.
no, I want you to test him. If he says he's going to take back what? Now I don't recall him saying that. But
He
if
said that one night.
okay,
Sir.
but if he says he's going to take back what, it's possible because Brent Simonet has $156 million. So he can always borrow something from Brent. How that sound?
Well, sir, not just what. What?
He's going to take back what? I don't remember him saying that.
So what about NHI? Where's that going now?
Well, I'm not sure because you would recall that when Mr. Ingraham privatized a part of the Princess Margaret Hospital, I think the minister and them established what was called the Doctors Alliance. And somehow they end up controlling that aspect of the medical profession. Anyway, you're still PLP. Are you there?
So one more thing.
Go ahead.
Do you truly? Yes, sir. I'm still BLP. But, sir, do you really think that they won the election like that? It makes me wonder sometimes.
Well,
You don't think the election was tampered with?
Look, the people went to the poll and they voted. We know that the polls at all material time was the government, the PLP was in charge of it. So you have to be careful that if you are in charge of the electoral process and a person walks in with no gun to their head and they vote, and at the end of the day, the FNM ends up with the majority vote, you can't impugn the integrity of it. Do you see where I'm coming from? Now, in addition to that, the FNM had access to millions of dollars of foreign money. And their money was like sponge money. All right? So if you have little money, there are all kinds of things you could do. But since the PLP had 5 years to introduce finance reform, right, and didn't do it, you know, they really can't say anything. You see where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
And it would have been so good if we had what they call election finance reform. And if we had it, it means that if a party or candidate is donated monies, they will have to reveal the source. And then it can be properly regulated. But without that, people could be getting monies from save people, gangsters, and all kinds of crook. So that's it. Okay? Take it care. Bye-bye.
Mr. Moncur, one more thing, Mr. Moncur.
Go ahead.
Do you know Cable Bahamas still cutting you?
They're still cutting me off?
Yeah, Cable Bahamas cutting you off. And could you kindly name, yes, sir.
Wow.
And could you kindly name the 5 or 4 could name the 4 or 5 seats the PLP got?
Well, if I have it correctly, I'm told that they won Angliston. And my producer, you should be listening to me so you could make sure I'm saying the right thing. Angliston. All right? Angliston has been a seat that has been faithful and loyal to the PLP. You hear me?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
advised that they won Cat Island. I'm also advised that Exuma, the home of my mother, they won that. So that's 3. Producer, what is the other 2? I'm asking my producer. I'm not sure what the other 2 are. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But as soon as I get it, I'll announce it.
Okay, thank you so much.
God save the Queen. Do I have another caller on the line? Mr. Producer, is there another caller? They're not answering me. Goodness me. Is there another caller?
If you'd like to make a
Okay, it appears that there is not another caller. So what is on my text line? My assistant, do I have a text, any text messages? Because I need to know what is going on. I need somebody to tell me who the other 2 or 4. I have a phone. Welcome to Freedom Match. Hello. I cannot even hear a sound. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Sir.
Yes, this is Freedom March Show.
Yes, it is. What's on your mind?
Yeah, a caller about 10 minutes ago and say one camera is freezing up. He is totally correct. And when it freezes up, you're missing a good portion of the show.
Well, my producers say
that camera is freezing up.
My producers say that is not so. Well, the man, okay. So, do I have another caller? No more caller. Okay, I need to know who are all of the PLP candidates that were elected. No one is telling me, and I haven't had chance this morning to read the newspaper because I took a jitney and I went around the island to talk with some of my people, the Negro people. And it was interesting listening to some of their political observation. I ran into a Negro man who lives in what appears to be, anyway, we'll discuss it when we come back because the clock is ticking on me. But I ran into a Negro man who told me he was a PLP supporter. He couldn't vote F&M, and he decided he was going to stay home because the PLP had him kind of displeased. And it was extremely interesting what he had to say. So the PLP needs to reconnect with its supporters and its members, and it should move to now regulate their supporters. Instead of them just being supporters, they should be encouraged to formally join the party and establish various branches and support groups. I think that is what is needed. It's a democracy. Stop crying over a defeat and rise up, you mighty PLPs. Organize, because the F&M is here for 5 years. And you're going to need to watch them and ensure that they implement every election promises. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Moncur. I am wondering if my spiritual advisor has abandoned me. Bradley, where are you? It's safe to come to the studio. The F&M is red. I'm certain you're not scared of them, because I always suspected that you might have been an undercover F&M. This is Freedom March. I shall return after I take a break. And you can join me on iltvstudios.com. I'm streaming. Freedom March will be right back in a few minutes. Take good care and stay tuned.
Do you have something to say to the Senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Moncur, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Moncur.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV, cable channel 224, and BTC Flow, channel 112. You can also join me on iltvstudios.com. It's our Facebook page where we are streaming live. I'm advised that we have a caller on the line. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yeah, Senator, you all right?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
What I'm calling for to give you the four candidates for the PLP.
Okay.
I think is
Angliston.
Is Cat Island.
Cat Island.
Piceville
Forbes.
And Chester Cooper.
Piceville Forbes.
For
Mangrove Key.
The other island is Wadsworth.
And Chester Cooper.
Yeah, Chester Cooper. I think the afternoon 35.
Okay.
PLB
4. Okay.
Yeah.
I thank you very much for that.
All right, sir.
Okay.
You take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I now know that the PLP has won or retained just 4 seats. We have Angliston, Cat Island, I think it's Mangrove Key, South Andres, and Chester Cooper in Exuma. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yeah, how you doing, sir? I do believe, I don't know if you have the update. Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you may have had the update on the parliamentary today of the official count. I was understood Mrs. Glanzal Martin lost.
Really?
By the recount.
She lost on the recount?
Yes, sir. And there's only 3 seats now the people PLP have. Cat Island, Exuma, and South Andres.
Wow, if what you have said, this is shocking because Angliston has been like a cradle for the PLP.
Yes, a tsunami came through, sir.
Yeah, wow, I cannot believe it.
So NASA is totally red now.
Pardon?
NASA is totally red, New Providence.
Repeat that slowly.
I said New Providence is totally red. The island of New Providence
has 30.
Nassau has 24 seats.
Nassau has 20.
The PLP has none in New Providence.
Wow. Well, it's almost similar to what happened in 2002.
Yes, sir.
When the FNM was only able to hold on to 1 seat.
That's correct.
In Nassau. So these things happen, and I thank you for the information.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. Well, this is devastating news for me. If Angliston has been consistently PLP from, I think, 1967, when a former Governor General, the late Sir Clifford Darling, I think for the first time, ran for that constituency. So I cannot believe that in the year of Jubilee, the 50th anniversary, I think, please forgive me, because I'm saying these things from memory. But I remember as a little boy in 1967 that the late Sir Clifford Darling, a taxi cab driver, he was elected for the great constituency of Angliston. And every other election, the PLP was able to retain it. In, I think it was 1997, the former Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Ingraham, he had alleged that the FNM would have carried Angliston, but he decided to pull back. I never understood how he pulled back, what that meant, because I had a relative, a very close relative, a maternal relative, who was the candidate. And when I heard that Mr. Ingraham pulled back, I cursed all that night. I said, what do you mean he pulled back to cause my relative to lose? But Ingram's argument was that he pulled back, sacrificed the F&M candidate to preserve the democracy, because he had argued that he was about to pull on the PLP what the Haitian call la valace, landslide. So that is shocking. But I salute Glenys Hannah Martin. She has been a very formidable politician. And if there is a woman who is a political warrior, she's one. She's like her daddy. Her daddy never took nonsense, you know. One day, Henry Bosbeck came to the House of Assembly, said he had a check that would prove corruption on her daddy. And her daddy say, well, produce it. And when Bosbeck took too long, her father grabbed a law book. This is the Bible, so let me put this down because I don't want to commit sacrilege. And her pa grabbed the law book and he fling it after the Honorable Henry John Bosbeck Sr. Well, Bosbeck was young, and therefore he was able to duck. And then Mr. Bosbeck grabbed the microphone, you know the microphone? And he held the other side, and he was about to lick His Excellency Arthur Hanna. And I think one of the parliamentarians, it might have been Loftus Roker. Please forgive me, because I'm talking about an incident that I think took place just over 30 years ago. And so I'm giving you a story based on memory. So if I'm off a little bit, please forgive me. But I think it was Loftus Roker who may have stepped in and said to Mr. Bosbeck, put down that mic, because I know you believe in the Lord. So Glenys Hannah is like her father. So the PLP is going to have to do a lot of rebuilding. And for many of their young supporters, those who've had political aspiration, this is an opportunity for you young people. An opportunity to go into the party, take over constituencies, help to rewrite, policy papers, and y'all would be the new inheritors of the first political party in the history of the Bahamas. Do I have another caller? But Glenys Hannah Martin, a formidable political candidate. It was her who brought down the F&M chairman, Sidney Dorset. Sidney Dorset, I'm calling your name, not you. And I give you that story over and over. Mrs. Glenys Hannah Martin, she discovered that Sidney Colley, the chairman of the Free National Movement, at that point, he was a minister in the cabinet of then Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingraham. And she discovered that he was conducting elections. Now you know why the F&M are always talking about fraudulent election. But Sidney, the chairman, he is an expert at it. And by grab, she caught him and took him to court. Sue him. He was a minister in the government. And I'm talking from memory. His Lordship, Justice John Isaac, who's currently a judge of the Court of Appeal, but he was serving on the Supreme Court. And when his Lordship heard the evidence that Mrs. Glenys Hannah Martin was able to produce, he ruled quickly against Sidney Colley, and Ingraham fired him. Welcome to Freedom March.
Senator.
God save the Queen.
How are you today?
I am fine, praise the Lord.
Great. Listen, I'm sorry I couldn't make it
Is
on
this
the show
my
with you today,
spiritual
but I'm
advisor?
Just calling to...
Is this my spiritual advisor?
Of course it is.
What are you
Senator.
doing? Are you celebrating with the red people?
Well, Senator, I had some personal obligations to take care of today, but I don't know. I may be late. I'm just trying to figure out if you did congratulate the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Menace for pulling off one of the biggest political upsets in the history of the modern Bahamas.
Well, my spiritual advisor, you do spiritual things for me. Would you kindly congratulate him on behalf of Freedom March? Go ahead.
Okay. Dr. Hubert Menace, on behalf of Freedom March, which is spearheaded by Rodney Moncur, of course, I'm a spiritual advisor. We would like to congratulate you and the Free National Movement for having achieved a very huge political victory over the Progressive Liberal Party in forming the next government of the Bahamas. We must congratulate Dr. Hubert Menace. Despite all that he's been through, Senator, he's been through so much ridicule. He's been through so much opposition. He has found a way to stand strong and still withstand all of the political criticism by most of his opponents. I think the Right Honorable Hubert Ingraham says it well when he says that he thinks that Dr. Hubert Menace is in fact a strong man. And
well, my spiritual advisor,
so.
having given him a political salute, will you now give him a Christian reminder?
Of course. Mr. Moncur, the Bible encourages us that we are to pray
I want you to say that to Dr. Menace. Tell that to Dr. Menace.
Yes, Dr. Menace, as the incoming and newest Prime Minister in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Scriptures teaches us that we are to therefore pray for those in authority, that they may live peaceful lives, and of course, that they may do the things that pleases our God and Savior, which is good in His sight. We want to make sure that, of course, transparency is the order of the day for the new government, and that the Free National Movement lives up to its mandate. It says that it's the people's time. As a matter of fact, during Dr. Menace's victory speech, he says the victory is not his, but it's the people's, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. So on behalf of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, we want to welcome our new Prime Minister. He's not only the Prime Minister for the FNMs, Senator, but of course he is the Prime Minister for the entire Bahamas.
You should have been in my Jeep with Brian when FNM saw my Jeep and attempted to run him off the road.
This should not be, Mr.
So
Moncur. I think
he has
at
a job
this
to
stage of the
do.
game now, we must put aside all of our political differences.
You must say that. Listen to me. You must say it to the thugs who were wearing the red shirt. All right? And when you see Brian, you are free to ask him what happened, okay? So, my spiritual advisor, you take good care.
Okay, Senator.
I'm happy to hear your voice.
Absolutely.
And
I'll join you on the show tomorrow.
I shall know that if they are the government for the people, when you come and tell me what contract you have, okay?
Well, Senator, normally I make more money under the FNM government in any event, so
really?
That should not be a problem for me, you know?
Did you make more?
I normally make more money under the FNM government.
Than
yes,
the PLP?
Yes, I always do, yes.
Okay. Well?
So that shouldn't be an issue for me, Senator.
Okay.
But congratulations. A new day and a new era has dawned in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and we must therefore thank the Almighty God for this time and embrace it. And of course, we are all Bahamians. We must remember that we are all Bahamians. We all breathe the same air. We all enjoy this same sun, and we must all live and inhabit this archipelagic nation, the great islands of the Bahamas, and embrace Dr. Hubert Menace as our Prime Minister. And all the great people of SAC must feel proud that we now have a SAC alumni in the name of Dr. Hubert Menace, Jeff Lloyd, Marvin Dames, Mark Humes.
Marvin
We
been to
must
Sac
congratulate all
too?
of them.
Marvin been to Sac as well?
Well, I may be wrong with Marvin Dance, but I know for sure Mark Humes is, of course, a SAC alumni.
Okay.
And, of course, congratulations also in order to Deacon Jeff Lloyd, a very personal friend of mine, and my New Southern Shore MP, Frankie Campbell, a personal friend of mine.
All I want you to do is
and
to
a friend of the family.
tell Jeff Lloyd, stop sending threats before I have to curse out him again, okay?
Yeah, I already
certainly,
text,
for him to
I already
profess,
text Deacon
listen
Lloyd,
to me,
and I asked,
for him to profess Catholicism, he's a member of the Catholic Church, a deacon in the Catholic Church. I'm a member of the Catholic Church. And for him to send me threat, obviously he's not a saved man.
well, listen, Deacon Jeff Lloyd is a personal friend of mine. I will, of course, try to talk with him tonight and find out what is the nature of
You
his
need not
threat.
You need not talk to him. I am able to handle him right here on Freedom March.
But remember now, Senator, I always encourage you that the Bible teaches us that we are to love and forgive one another.
Take it
If we
from
don't
me,
forgive
I
men-
do not hate him, but those who seek to intimidate me, they are the workers of the devil.
But there has to be resolved now, Senator.
I have
We a
nothing
nation
to
build.
resolve with a man who tries to send me threats. You take it
So
care,
we
my
must
spiritual
put aside
advisor.
all of our petty politics and differences.
Listen to me.
and
Go
let's see
talk
if
to
we can
him.
build a country.
Go talk to him. Take it care, my spiritual advisor.
Okay, Senator.
Okay, do I have another caller? Welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello? Well, I can't hear the caller. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Rule, that was him who called in. And in the course of the conversation, Deacon Jeff Lloyd, a member of the Roman Catholic Church, of which I'm a member, and during the campaign, he sent threats. So I told everybody how he abandoned his daddy. So don't send me no threat. Yeah, because obviously, if you profess Jesus Christ as your Savior, and you confess that you are a Christian Catholic, why would you be sending threats? Huh? They think they could intimidate me at 60. At 60, I cannot be intimidated. I'm prepared to curse him out, publicly and privately. Anyway, any more calls? Because the Negro people say I'm not taking enough phone calls from them, and so I'm giving them an opportunity. What time is it? I want to be guided by the time. Really? You must keep me up to date. So, it's 14 minutes to 6, and I've been receiving confusing information. Dr. Minnis, at his victory rally last night, said he would be sworn in at 5 p.m. A Negro person called me and said, no, it's now 7 or 7:30 p.m. Christie is still Prime Minister then, if he has not gone to Government House and quickly be sworn in, because I need to see who all will make it to his cabinet. Will he have a small cabinet, or will he have a Gussie May cabinet? Then I'd like to see, I'm interested in seeing who's going to be the Minister of National Security and who's going to be the Finance Minister. And then I'm interested in knowing who's the Tourism Minister, because those three personalities will suggest to me what SACA's strategy is for the country, because I'm still convinced that, notwithstanding the promise that this is the people's time, when I look at the various vested interests, I believe, I really don't trust black leadership. And, I really don't trust them, because I hear this talk all the time about the people. And that rhetoric, that propaganda is pushed during election time. And after the election, you can't see them. Take, for instance, Teresa Moxie Ingraham. She was a minister in Ingram's government. And she had a constituent who went to see her in April, wanted a meeting. And Teresa claims that she's a Christian. She says she's saved. I remember when Teresa used to talk in tongues. All right? And she told the woman that she can't see her until October. You imagine a person come to see you in April and you set a date for October? That's what Teresa Moxie did that. And when she did that, I recognized that she was not saved. Because if you go to a politician for an appointment and they give you a 6-month appointment, whatever problem you have, got to be solved by the time you show up. And that's what Teresa Moxie Ingraham did. And Papa was prime minister. That's what she did. And I determined then, Teresa can't be saved. But I look forward that she may repent of that sin. So, look, PLPs, the FNM is the government. It's a democracy. They're the government. You go to an election, you win some, you lose some. Stop crying. Stop being sissies. Stop being, all right? I have a woman on the phone. Hello, my lady. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am great, and how are you?
Listen, I'm in good shape. Praise the Lord.
Well, that's good.
What's on your
Mr.
mind?
Moncur,
Yes?
let me just say this to you. You're nothing else but a sore loser. God is in control.
Hold on a second.
God is in control.
God has
That's
always
the reason why
been in
the
control.
PLC is not there. He wiped them out. You need to go back into the dust from where you came, because at the end of the day, you and the PLC is gone forever.
Licky dog mama and cut this woman. Cut her. Goodness me, the woman wants me go back to the dust. From the dust of the earth, my God created man, and he blew into man's nostril the breath of life. The woman say, I must go back to the dust. Goodness of mercy. I'm not a poor loser. In a democracy, the opposition must rebound swiftly. Swiftly. I accept that the FNM is the government, but the opposition can't remain quiet, crying. The opposition must rise up. It must rally its supporters, because the political process demands a competent opposition, an alert opposition. So, to the PLP supporters, how much more minutes I got before the show over? That's it right there on the clock? So, to the PLP supporters, listen, the PLP has lost, but rise up and defend the party. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello, how you doing, Mr. Moncur?
I am fine. Go ahead, talk to me.
You have a nice show going on, but I just wanted to speak pertaining to a lady who called earlier and said that Dr. Minnis said that he's going to get rid of the VAT. He actually said that he is going to get rid of the bread basket items of VAT. I just wanted to correct that.
I thank you for the correction.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Goodness me. Come on. Welcome to Freedom March.
How you doing, Mr. Moncur?
I am fine. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, you know, everybody who called there ain't going to agree with you, right?
That is true.
But I think me and my wife was watching you last night, right?
Uh-huh.
I think you're doing an excellent job.
Man, I thank you.
I like you. You know what I just call you?
What?
The naughty professor.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that.
Uh-huh.
And keep up the good work.
I thank you, and God bless you and
Yes,
the
sir.
wife.
All right, sir.
Okay. Well, tomorrow when I come back, I still have another day of work, right? But today is Thursday. Tomorrow, I'll return because I run into a number of young PLPs that I have to build up their morale. Listen, you win some and you lose some. Rise up. You hear me? And I say to you, PLP all the way. Now I can't see the clock no more. Right? Oh, I have 26 more minutes? 2 more minutes left. So, take good care. I'm going to see you tomorrow if God spare my life. Let's be peaceful. To the FNM, who has won, you have a duty to tell your supporters to be civilized. I'm annoyed of the complaint by my friend who's driving my Jeep. Come on, let's be civilized, all right? Let's keep, when you introduce threats to politics. That's gangsterism. Ain't supposed to be no threat. The victor. Take all the spoil. You ain't got to worry with me. I ain't going to ask you for no contract. I ain't ask you for, you don't got to worry with me. But don't threaten. And you'll say far from my senatorial jeep, okay? Let's be civilized, all right? Because I don't have the case out some of y'all. Or take some of y'all to court. Come on, quick comment, hurry up. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello?
Yes,
Mr. Moncur.
Hey.
How come you always finding out? Mr. Moncur.
Talk.
Are you always finding out? F&M just been 36 season. I know that from last night at 9:15, man. What's going on at the register over there?
I thank you for the information. I can let you go. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Moncur. I'm a Justice of the Peace. I'm a member of the Roman Catholic Church. I call on young PLPs to rise up peacefully and defend the principles of your party. There's nothing to be afraid of, nor to be intimidated of. You're going to have a wonderful 5 years of good opposition politics. Because life being what it is, we're talking about Negro leadership, who once they taste the power, they think God give it to them. All right? So just relax and quickly rise up and stop being depressed. Rise up! And I say, PLP all the way. PLP all the way. But your political expression must be peaceful and lawful. Okay? It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful democracy. The PLP won the last election. The F&M has won this one. And if you organize, you'll win the next one. Take good care. This is Rodney Moncur.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Moncur, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.